definitely a blessing. But definitely, like you said, it's a healthy competition. So yeah, it's good.
How
Who
does
are
that
some of
keep you
the
healthy here too? To be able to mix the carries up like that, not
Yeah.
have to be a guy that's just getting hounded on 30, 35 times a
Mm-hmm.
game. Just how much beneficial do you think that'll be come week 16, 17,
Yeah,
18?
yeah, it'd be beneficial. I believe that you need two good backs to go the full distance, and we have that. We really have three, and Craig too. So, just being able to be in a position in a situation where you got a bunch of guys in our room, but ultimately we got a bunch of guys on offense that can make any time plays. So, it's a good problem to have.
Who are some of your closest friends on that Chicago defense?
Oh man, it's a lot of them, man. I just got here a year. I just left there a couple months ago, really. But you know, it's a lot of guys over there that I still got love for. Me and Mooney talk on a regular basis. Me and Justin check in all the time. That's still my guy. Me and Khalil. Me and Eddie Bo talk every now and then. But yeah, I mean, they're my guys. But they understand, and I understand too. Like. What it means and what's getting ready to happen too. So
Is it going to be a different David Montgomery? I mean, they might see you from a couple years ago and feel like they know your moves or know some of your tendencies, but what version are you going to show up this time? How much better are you, do you feel like, than your time in Chicago?
yeah, I'm just gonna be me, man. I'm not gonna try to play out of the lines of myself. I'm just gonna be me. I think me being who I am is enough. So I'll just go out, play the way that I play the way that I know how, and hope that we execute properly and walk out of here with a dub.
Given how much center you have in front of you on this offensive line, you look at some of the push that they got. I mean, it was 5-6 yards before you even got contacted. Just how much fun is it to run behind a unit as good as this one?
It's super, it's fun, but it's more of a blessing than anything. Just being able to, have such a profound group in front of me to be able to, you seen the first run that I had, the surge that I didn't get touched for 6 yards, and I think even when I was in like high school and sometimes in college, I never knew what that really felt like. But to have it here and feel it, like super, super dope. And I think also it gives like me an opportunity to showcase like what I can actually do. Because I hadn't got granted that for a while in my career, but now I feel like it's coming apparent what I can do with those guys.
Tim asked you about being fresh. You obviously hate missing games. We know that, but to have that 3-week stretch where you were able to, be down, how much does that help you, I guess, be fresh for the stretch run? I can't imagine you felt this good in the middle of the season before.
Yeah, I can't remember a time. It was it was a bittersweet time, giving me a time to recover, get my mind back to where it needed to be, and spend some more time with my family and my son. But I was itching to get back, and my body feels great. I feel great, and I'm ready to finish this thing out strong, bring back that thing we need to bring back into this building.
The other benefit of that obviously was it probably pushed Ja's development forward a little bit faster. So when you guys did get back together, we saw what it can look like.
Yeah. There was never a question, at least from me or anybody else in this building, of the development of Ja.
Yeah.
He came in the first day he came in, we already knew what he was going to be and how special he was. So I guess it was more of a surprise for everybody else in the world, but it was no surprise to us, So being able to have him be as special as he is and me being who I am and how I play the game, I feel like, we complement, we work very well together.
Chicago's run defense is playing at a very high level for everything else. Maybe that's not going right for them. I think 3.2 yards per carry. What is the challenge they present that you guys are taking on this week?
Oh, they're a really good scheme, really good defense. I know their principles. Coach Flus does a great job in making sure that those guys understand effort, and that's one of their core principles. And they live by that, and you can see it on film. Their record may not say it, but when you turn on the film and you watch how they play, this is not going to be an easy team that we play. It's going to be a dog fight, and it's good. It's good to see where we'll be at, and we're ready for the challenge.
I might ask you this early on, but how did you view the Detroit before you got here in this culture? Like, what was your perception of the Lions as opposed to being outside and now in?
Yeah, my first 2 years in the league, it was like stat games for me when I seen Detroit. Just me being honest. Me just circling the calendar of when I would play Detroit. But last year, even my first, second, and my third year. And then last year, it was just a whole different story. I'm like, maybe it was a fluke. And then they did it to us again the second year. It's the second time. I'm like, all right, maybe they the real deal. And then I got over here. I'm like, oh yeah, this is real deal. Like, so I'm just happy to be a part of it, really.
I know you said, it's just another game for you, but you also said it's special. So do you have any sense of what your emotions will be like that night before the game, or when you sort of step out against your old team wearing your new uniform?
No, I think it'll be the same. I mean, when I go to sleep at the same time the night before a game, I go to sleep at 10:15. Fall asleep with a movie on, I'm good. So it'll be the same this week.
Usual stuff.
Usual.
Thanks,
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, Kim.
Jared's talking. Happy birthday, Jared.
It was just Teddy's birthday, though.
Happy birthday, Jared.
Thank you. Thank you.
Obviously, man, these divisional games, big games.
We're going. Let's go.
Obviously, the divisional games, big games. Man, Dan was saying it's an extra emphasis placed on these. These are almost like 2 games for you guys. Just talk about facing these guys, no matter what the record is. How seriously you take these games?
Oh, yeah, very seriously. And I think they're a whole lot better than their record shows. They've been banged up a little bit throughout the year and getting their quarterback back now and have done some really good things on defense. So we'll have our hands full.
They had a slower start, but have won some games recently. Do you kind of see them in a similar position to maybe what you guys were last year and how they can be dangerous later on in the season?
Yeah, that's so hard to compare or contrast, but I do think, like I just mentioned, they're better than their record may say they are, and we know they're going to come to play.
What does Montez bring to their defense a little bit? He finally gets a full week of practice here, but he's been pretty productive the first
Yeah.
games. What did you see on tape?
Yeah, he's a good player. They traded for him for a reason, extended him for a reason. He's been a good player for a handful of years now, and will be a challenge for us.
Put a ton of confidence in your attack.
Of course, yeah, of course. A ton of confidence in those guys. I think, 2 weeks in a row now, no sacks is pretty impressive.
Just how valuable are those 2 guys to what you guys want to do on offense, and what they allow you to do on offense?
So valuable where, we feel like we don't like to, but we can leave them on an island, and those guys go to work and do their thing, and allows us to get guys out a little bit faster into routes and a whole bunch of other things in the run game that we can do because they're so good on the edge. But Dak and Panay kind of have anchored us for a handful of years now, and it feels good.
We've got some guys over there who were there last year, but a lot of defensive additions over the offseason. What ways are they different than they were a year ago? And then do you see any similarities from last year's team?
Yeah, I think it's much different. It's much more coverages they're calling for sure. Much more blitzes they're calling. A different guy who's calling the defense now than last year, and much different. And obviously the personnel has changed as well, and added some things in the offseason, and I think they've improved greatly.
It seems throughout your career, whenever there's been a shootout, you've kind of always brought your A game. You've always stepped up. Is there a moment during a game like this weekend against the Chargers where it hits you like we got to score some points and you up your game, or what goes into that in your mind?
I think you just know you're going to need points. I don't think you change how you're playing or anything. I think about halftime, when they scored pretty quickly there before half to tie it up, I believe, or right after the half. Is when you go, okay, we may need a few more touchdown drives here, and they were able to do some good things offensively, but so are we.
When you flip to the second half of the season, is that when it starts to feel like a division race, especially with Minnesota now losing here lately?
Yeah, it always will be, and they're a good team, and again, Chicago's I think a good team, and so is Green Bay. So we've got our hands full with all 3 of those teams, and this is another one for us to hopefully get a W with. Cool. Thank you guys.
Challenge each other like that. We asked David about the clip that kind of went viral with y'all. Yeah. Just having that. Have you ever had that, man, where it's a healthy, competitive challenge amongst each other and not really like an egotistical type thing?
Yeah, I've had it everywhere I've been. Everywhere I've been, the running back group has been very supportive of each other. Nobody's had egos, so we've all been close, just trying to push each other and compete.
Is he any different this week, David, at all? Is he really approaching it like any other game? Where
we just approach like every game. We're not trying to make a huge deal out of it. Because it's something that we could do on and on. So.
This is his old team, though. You think that means how much more is that?
I mean, probably like inside. He feels some type of way, but he didn't show it. So I don't know what he's thinking.
Is he able to give you any insight on his former team?
No, we haven't really talked about it. we'll see it on film. So.
You mentioned it. Last game was the first one where you guys truly sort of split the workload. What's your expectation going forward for how this is divvied up? Is it ride the hot hand? Is it similar to last week? What do you?
Yeah, hopefully it's the same thing. but whichever route it goes, I'm pretty sure it'll work out. So. Yeah.
What was it like running behind that offensive line, especially with all 5 guys there? They are very close, and they definitely want to prove that they take pride in getting the running game going.
Offensive line is the best in the league. Numbers prove it. Big shout out to them. We couldn't do what we do. Jared couldn't do what he does. Without them boys up front. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to Yoda in the back.
You like getting those goal line carries, and maybe a little bit different than what people were expecting from you.
Yeah, it was fun, low-key. Yeah, I kind of liked it. Yeah, something new.
Anything about your skill set do you think works there particularly well, or?
Probably getting low, getting skinny, through a hole.
Can you speak to what sort of mentor David's been to you this year?
Yeah, he's like my big brother, really. As soon as I came in, he's guided me every step of the way with, anything I need help with, and he was there. So.
How key is it to keep both you guys fresh? That you have a nice 1-2 punch in yourself and him, and how will that be important for you guys down the stretch, week 16, 17, 18, and beyond?
Yeah, I think it's very important. But if one of us went down, we have a whole group of backs that could pick it up and not lose a beat. So I don't think we're too worried about it. I think everything's gonna be fine.
And what sort of challenges does Chicago's run defense present? They're pretty good, obviously, statistically. So
haven't watched film yet, so I'll watch tonight. But I know statistically they're second in the league for run defense and yards per carry or something like that. So it'll be a good test for us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.